Welcome back to the TikTok show. I am your host, Ryan Heelan, and I am very excited about my guest today. She is an incredibly talented streamer with over 700,000 followers on TikTok and over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Please welcome to the show, Avori. Avori, thank you for being here.
It's good to be here.
Now, I'm really excited to talk to you because your journey has been insane. Like, I was kind of watching your stuff and going back on, you used to do pageants, is that right? And now you're a full-time streamer. So when did that shift happen? Like, what was the decision that made you go, I want to be a streamer?
It's actually a crazy story. So I was competing for Miss America. I had just won a local title. I'm still very proud of those accomplishments. All of my crowns are displayed behind me. But the same weekend that I was supposed to compete for Miss America, I got an invite from an esports organization that was hosting a tournament in Mexico City, Mexico. And they were like, look, you're the only female that we're inviting. We want you to come play for Team USA. And at that time, I was like really heavy into competitive gaming. So I had to make a choice, continue on competing on the state level for Miss America, which I had worked for 3 years for, or take on this new adventure and represent women in esports. And I just dropped out of the Miss America pageant. And I was like, I have to do this. I have to go represent women. So here I am.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I love that. Like on a very small scale, I had to make the choice between like basketball or football when I was young. It's not quite the same, but I get where you're coming from. Now,
now you made an interesting point. It was one of my questions, like, what obstacles have you had to face being a woman in gaming? Like, it's a very, I think, male-dominated space, especially early on. We're seeing a lot more female streamers, but what were some obstacles you had to face early on and even now?
Yeah, I mean, there's like a good side and a bad side to it, you know? Like, I won't even lie. I feel like getting eyes on my content was so much easier as a female. And that's just because there aren't as many of us. So like being the anomaly, there's just more people that tend to tune in and watch. And to be as honest as well, you don't really have to be as insane at the game because there's less competition, there's less women. So if you're even just decently good, you get a lot of respect. But to that same sentiment, just for being a female, even if you are good or you're just mediocre, or maybe you create different types of content, people don't take you seriously. And so it's really tough to balance that, to be respected so much on one side of things just for doing something different and for representing your gender. Or on the other side of things, you have to combat people who just don't give you respect for no reason at all, or you know, treat you poorly for no reason at all, other than the fact that you're a girl. So it's a balance, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, have you had has your fan base been incredibly supportive? Were there other female streamers that reached out to you and said, I love what you're doing? Or do you think you kind of paved the way for people to follow you?
To be honest, I feel like I worked from the ground up. One of the things that I feel like I did differently than other people, and I think that there's multiple different ways to go viral or grow on social media, but I think one of the things I did it on accident actually was I just really dove into supporting other people that I liked. And in turn, like, they supported me back. And that support system from a very early stage on in my career was how I really got started growing. And it's really just being there for people, being kind, and going and being friends and supporting people and being friends with people that you truly connect with. And I think a lot of people skip that step. They start creating content and they just expect people to enjoy their content and like them, but people have to get to know you to like your content and to like what you do. So take the time and get to know people. That's how I feel like I started getting respect in the space.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. You know, starting social media is scary enough, and like you're already kind of beating yourself up already. So when you find that support system, like you just kind of click with them, and it builds this beautiful community of people. So I love that. Now, how long have you been playing video games? Like, did you have brothers that you grew up with playing, or was this just an interest of yours you had since you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I've always played video games. I think I started out with Game Boy, went over to Nintendo, and then when I was younger, I got the PS2 system, and I would watch movies on that while my parents were gone. You know, that was before kind of like DVD movies were really big, and so all we had was like the VHS, and so I was cool. Because I had like the PlayStation 2, I could play movies for my friends, and they would come over and play video games. But really my parents worked a lot. They were entrepreneurs, so they owned their own business, and that left me home alone a lot. So I dove into video games at a very young age, and I never really took it seriously until I got older, because up until that point, people had told me that it was a waste of time. So.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. Now, your parents being entrepreneurs, that's super fascinating. Did you learn anything from them? Like, you're an entrepreneur in your own way now. Watching your parents do that growing up, I'm sure you learned a ton of stuff.
Yeah, my parents are amazing people. Like, not only are they just, they're gorgeous, beautiful people from the inside out. And I've never watched anyone work as hard as my parents did. Definitely having the example in front of me as a young child of, if you want something, go do it. If you want to get something done, go do it yourself. And I just watched them build a business from the ground up. It's super successful. It always has been. And so that gave me the confidence I needed to kind of dive into what I do now. And they're super supportive of me. So that's nice.
Awesome. Yeah. Good for you guys. And shout out to your parents. Congratulations.
Heck yeah.
So you're a gamer. Now, are we talking like, do you play Call of Duties? Like, do you like playing those games? Are you more of like Fortnite or Rocket League? Like, what is your go-to game, or has it changed over time?
Yeah, so my passion with playing first-person shooters originated from my love of the movie The Hunger Games. I read the book first, fell in love with it, and then I saw the movies, fell in love with it all over again. And then a couple years after that, PUBG was announced, which was, the Battle Royale style video game. And I was like, what the heck is this? And I started playing, and I literally just I would go to sleep and I would dream that I was playing and winning. And I would wake up the next day and I'd be like, oh, I got to get good at controlling recoil. And so that's when it really started, my passion for playing first person shooters. So now I do a lot of games, but just my heart is so set on first person shooters.
Killing people. Yeah, I get that.
Crazy, but I love it.
Now, I think like streamers are one of those things you can put on and just watch for hours. Like, were you a big fan of streamers before you? Like, who did you watch where you thought to yourself, that's what I want to do? I want to stream video games for people to watch. Or were you your own inspiration?
Crazy enough, no. I had never watched a single person before. I didn't even really know it was a thing. I was just gaming and playing with other people, and they were streaming, and people would say like, oh, you should stream, you should turn on the camera. And originally I just turned on the camera. Like, it was a really awkward angle, like up my nose, basically. My microphone audio was like terrible. And I just had so much fun with it. I guess because of the friends I had made in the community, they would watch my stream because I was friends with them, and it just took off from there. And as I would make little amounts of money from streaming, I'd go, oh, let me upgrade my mic. Let me upgrade my camera. Let me do this. And then it just turned into this big thing with a couple viral clips. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's all very well deserved. Now, streaming is one of those things, like kind of like social media, that has just exploded over the last couple of years. Now people are going to school for streaming, and they're giving out scholarships and stuff like that. So personally for you, and as just as like a whole in streaming, what are some goals you think the next 5 years will look like for you and just the whole streaming, gaming, entertainment way?
That is a really good question. To be honest, I wish they would have had that, because I wasted 4 years on a degree that I do not use.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, so did I. Same boat.
But no, I think the future of streaming, it's going to be incredible, especially with what they're building with the metaverse. I actually just recently started doing some VR streams, and crazy enough, my first ever VR stream hit 20 million views just this week.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, what in the world? Like, people are really interested in this virtual world. And you talk about cryptocurrency and NFTs and all of these virtual exchanges. And I really think that the future of gaming is headed towards that virtual world. So I'm really happy that I got to be a part of it in its early stages.
Yeah, for sure. Now, was there ever a moment for you where you took this seriously? What was that moment for you where you went, oh my God, this is real? Like, I can become a streamer full time? Was it when a video did well, or was this something that was years and years in the making?
It definitely was not years and years in the making. I really didn't know anything about it when I started. Like I said, I just had the crappiest. I made my overlays on Canva. I don't know if you've ever heard.
No, I make my thumbnails on Canva. So
yeah, exactly. Like, I just literally took like a purple line and I put my name. It was like Avori.
Right.
And I just put like my name and like had this like really bad border. So I really didn't have any goals or dreams or ambitions for doing it full time. But I think I had this one girl that would watch my stream every day. And this was back when I had like 3 viewers. She would watch my stream every day. And one day she like donated a pretty decent amount. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can pay my rent.
Yeah.
I can
Wow.
literally pay my rent with this money. And that's when it clicked for me. As soon as I knew I could pay my rent with 1 month's worth of payment, I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to study. And that's what I did. I would go to class every day, and then I would go to the library and I would watch people's streams. And I watched streams for hours. Like I had a schedule from 3 to 6 every day. I would study. And once I started doing that, watching people's streams, I would get ideas. I would learn how to set up all of the overlays, like just learning everything I possibly could about streaming. And then from 6 to 9, I would stream. So that was like my college schedule. And I did that literally every single day for like at least a year. 3 hours studying, 3 hours streaming, 3 hours studying every day. And
I mean, I love that mindset, because like you're watching these streams and people, like, you're not watching them for entertainment. I mean, you are, but you're learning. And I'm the same way. Like people go, why do you watch so much Jimmy Fallon on YouTube? And it's like, well, I like him, but also I'm sitting there and learning all these different things. So it's, you know, you watch, it's like almost like watching film. Like if you play sports, just watching film on how to get better. So yeah, I love that. Now, was there anything you took from doing the pageants that you feel like you kind of took over to the streaming? Like, what did you learn, like confidence wise, that you can use in your streams? Is there any crossover between those two?
Yeah, first of all, public speaking. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a shy person, so it's not hard for me to speak, but it was hard for me to learn how to speak in a way that other people understood. So maybe I would have like a thought or something, and being able to convey that thought to someone else where they truly understand your perspective on something. It's hard to do if no one teaches you how to do that. So pageants definitely taught me how to listen to a question just like we're doing now, understand what someone's asking me, and be able to convey what I'm thinking back to them, which is super important for when you make it big. But other than that, I mean, no, like I kind of threw things out the window as far as pageants go, because I'm my own person now. I don't have to be, you know, perfect pencil cut, perfect nails, perfect hair. I can be myself. And that is something that I absolutely love about streaming. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, because that was so much pressure to deal with all the time, is being, you know, exactly how they want you to be and not how you want you to be.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Now, you said there was a time when you had, you know, 3 viewers on your streams, and I get, you know, I know how tough that is. Like, I think everybody who wants to be a creator has been through that. What got you through that? Because it can be tough. You can kind of get in your own head, but what kept you going to say, I'm going to make this work?
To be honest, I still go through that. I don't think that creators ever really feel comfortable or settled where they're at. I've never felt settled. I've always looked at my numbers and gone, man, I need to get them up. Man, I need to do more. Man, I need to be more. Or I'll see someone create a video that's super clever and creative, and I'm like, man, why am I not doing that? I got to think of something or do something. And I think that mindset of never being satisfied is great when it comes to creating, because never being satisfied means you're constantly leveling yourself up. However, on the flip side of that, you have to let yourself rest sometimes, because even yesterday, like I literally, my body was done. I was so dizzy and so sick yesterday, because all week, last week, I like didn't sleep, because I was just creating and making, and it's a balance that I constantly fight to rest and stay motivated.
Right. No, I get how hard that can be. Now, I think you're in a great place in this position to where you can give advice to people who want to do what you do. You have a lot of followers, and a lot of women, I'm sure, look up to you and go, I want to be like her. So what would your advice be just to people who watch you and want to do what you do?
I always say the biggest advice I can give to someone else is to never let someone else's opinion stop you from doing what you want to do. In this industry and with social media, it's so difficult to combat trolls because they're everywhere and it's so easy for them to hide. But anyone who wants to be where you're at will try and pull you down to where they're at so that they feel better. So don't ever let what anyone says stop you from doing and being what you want to do and what you want to be. Because if I would have done that, I would not be where I'm at. Like I've had the worst things said to me for no reason. And I would have let that stop me, then I wouldn't be here. So don't let other people stop you from getting there.
Yeah, I love that. Now, final question. You are on a deserted island and you can only play 3 video games for the rest of your life. What 3 are you picking?
I got to pick PUBG. That's number one. I mean, every single game is different and they're constantly coming out with new maps and things to keep it interesting. So number one's got to be PUBG. Second video game. Ooh, I love music. So I'm going to say Beat Saber with my VR headset. I can constantly listen to music, even if I'm missing all of the notes. Third one, I'm going to throw it back old school and go with like some Super Smash Bros. Because that'll make me feel like I've got some friends around, you know, like maybe Princess Peach and I can hang out, drive our cars around for a little bit, grab some candy along the way.
Make you not go totally insane.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, Avery, thank you so much for being here and so much for talking. You are very well spoken and you're a huge inspiration. Guys, please go follow her on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere. You will not regret it. And make sure you follow me for more great interviews.